Hey everybody, thanks for clicking on the video. This is David Pendleton and we're continuing our Tour 8 walkthrough. This is Eagle Peak hole number 5, which is a par 4. In my opinion, this is a fun hole to play. A lot of people hate it because the drive is easy to mess up. I think that's why it's fun because, when you start getting up in these tours, a lot of the games go to a shootout. And this is really one of those holes that if an opponent messes up on the drive, you can take full advantage and just play it super safe and just take the win. But I'm going to show you how to play it. I'm going to show you, a lot of different wind angles, a couple different approaches to shot number 2. But more than likely, you and your opponent are going to be trying to do the same thing on this hole. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. That would be much appreciated. Show me some love by hitting the thumbs up button there if you find this video helpful. And if you want a fast way to find all my Tour 8 content, or any of my content really, if you're struggling on a particular hole, just hit the playlist button on my channel, and there you'll find a lot of my videos neatly organized and very easy for you to find what you're looking for. Also, spread my channel to your clanmates. I do provide tournament walkthroughs. I provide one-on-one tour play walkthrough, and the intent is to teach you how to play the game, show you you don't have to spend money to win. All you need to know is what you're doing, and you need to know the approaches, which is why I'm making this video right now. And if you want more detail on my Tour 8 approach, what clubs I suggest you use, what ball I suggest you use, all that kind of stuff, in the description to this video is a Tour 8 strategy video. You can click on that and check that video out as well. I think you'll find it helpful. But here's what we're looking to do on this hole. The drive, okay? The drive is played at 0% elevation. You're just going to play it straight up. And what we are looking to do is drive our ball where that black arrow is pointing to. All right, we want it right between, the rough and the tree line. So we have a little narrow fairway to work with. And ultimately, we're going to be using full top spin to get our ball to spin up and hopefully land where I have that green circle there at the top of the fairway. And then we're shooting downhill at a 30% elevated shot to the pin. Now, this is not an easy hole to pick up an eagle on. More times than not, you're going to be heading to a shootout for sure. Like I said, unless you or your opponent really botch the drive, which is easy to do. And I'm going to show you how to save the hole if you do that, okay? So we're going to spend a little time on this one because if you get yourself in trouble, you don't want to gamble to get yourself out of trouble. And I'll talk about that when we see a couple replays. Best case scenario is you get yourself a nice tailwind and you're able to slam this ball up the fairway, roll through the rough, and land down at the bottom of the fairway. And if you do that, that shot is played at 0% elevation. And I'll show you a couple replays there too. So stick with me. I'm going to show you a lot of different wind angles. And here we go. All right, so a little bit of tailwind mixed with some crosswind to the right. My approach on this hole is the same every time. Full top spin, 1 bar of left side spin. You're going to see me play this hole exclusively with the navigator. If you want to know why I'm choosing that ball, again, in the description to this video, you can find a link to my Tour 8 strategy. And here we go. This is the most ideal situation you can be in, okay? You got that tailwind push. You hit a perfect ball on the drive. And we roll right down here to the bottom of the fairway. This is not going to happen too often, okay? So don't get used to it. That's best case scenario when that happens. But if you do get down here, this is going to leave you typically with a wedge shot. And you're going to play this shot at no elevation. And you just try to find yourself a good spot on the green here. For me, I use a lot of backspin when I play. Most players who follow me know that. As you can see there, I'm stretching out to find my distance of the club. This is not a good hole to go max topspin on like we do a lot of time with our wedge. This is a better hole to try to play it straight up on the approach. Now, this is not, a gimme drop. You're not down here a lot as it is, regardless of the ball that you use. And we just missed that one to the left-hand side. All right, no big deal. Our hole is fine. But let's talk really through the strategy of this hole. Now, here's more tailwind. This is a very aggressive tailwind push. Full top, 1 bar of side spin to the left. And again, I play this at no elevation. I want to walk through something real quick that I think is important on this hole. Now you can see here that my ball guideline, okay, I'm in the rough. But because we're getting such high tailwind, that is okay. Because I know that that rough is not going to come into play because the wind is going to push me so far that by the time my ball lands, it's not going to be in this area. And we're going to talk through what to do if that's not the case. But on this hole, I play it the same way every time. Max top spin, 1 bar of left side spin, full overpower, full curl to the left-hand side. And again, we take this ball and we roll down. We get a little bit further this time because of the stronger wind push. And again, we're looking at a wedge shot to pin. Now this is what I would do in most situations. On this hole, in almost every wind angle except direct tailwind, you want to do this. You want to leave yourself, so notice right here is the rough, okay? And notice how I have my yellow ring right up against the rough line. I'm leaving myself 1 full ring of margin. So if I were to hit a barely great left ball, I'm still going to be okay. Now, if I hit a double great left, then I'm going to be in the rough, and you'll see that too, because that's going to happen from time to time. But I do leave myself wiggle room for a great shot to the left. Now, I will tell you, if you want to be a more dangerous player and really try to get this ball down the fairway more times than I do in tailwind, there's one thing you can do. You can pull your rings at 0% elevation, and then after that, you can flip the camera around back to a normal view and push back up to max. If you do that, you're going to get more distance on your drive, but you still need to use full overpower and full left curl, which means your needle is going to be flying around. It leaves you a higher probability to hit a bad shot and get stuck in the rough, which is why you don't see me do that on this hole. Now here's much more difficult wind. .4 miles an hour. The wind is blowing to the right-hand side, which is not what we want. We'd rather have it blowing to the left-hand side since we're using left curl. But you're going to see here that a navigator is still plenty of power even in wind like this, which is why I put on the graphic there that swapping a ball is not worth it. Now, the point of the game is to hit a perfect shot, every time. But as you can see here, even in nasty wind, I'm able to get past that tree line, and that's all that we need. It's going to be very rare that you or an opponent eagle this hole, so you don't need to play with any other type of ball because it's not going to give you an advantage here on this particular hole. Now we have more headwind, 6.6 miles an hour, and as you can see here, I move my target to leave myself about a ring of wiggle room for a great shot. And for me, I'm always playing this one with max OP and max curl to the left. Now, that's a bad great shot. That's a double great right there. That is not a good situation to be in. But because I left myself wiggle room, I'm still able to make it okay. And I really think that's the most important takeaway on this hole, is leaving yourself the space against the rough. And that's really what separates, a really great, consistent player from somebody who struggles. And you can see there my opponent's icon, he's in the rough. Now, he's in the rough, that's no problem. He's still going to get to the green in 2 and force a shootout. So here's another wind. This is more tailwind, but the opposite direction. We haven't seen this wind angle yet. Full top, 1 bar of left side spin, pulling the rings. max OP, max left curl. Great shot to the left. As you can see there, because we left that wiggle room, we're still completely fine, and we power that ball really far down the fairway. This is another really, really terrible wind. So 9.5 miles an hour is almost as bad as it gets. Headwind blowing the opposite direction. And this is a bad drive, and we're going to make these drives from time to time. One here, I'm barely leaving myself any wiggle room for a great left shot. So sometimes you just make mental mistakes and you forget to do something. But look at that. I mean, that's a good shot to the left. That's not even a great shot. So we know we're in trouble here, and we just stick this one in the bushes and roll out to the rough. So, this is a really bad shot, but let me show you how to bail yourself out. So let's just say, let's look at these shots to pinch first, since that's how I have it organized. Here we're playing 30% downhill, and you can just have some fun, all right? If you have a thorn, you can try to go for a dunk. You really want to make sure that you apply that max backspin, though, every time you go for a dunk, just in case you miss, so the ball comes back towards the hole. This is just a hard shot to make. It doesn't matter how I play it. Maybe I'm just not good at this shot, but I play at 30% elevation. And I can probably count on one time the amount of times I've actually dropped this shot from up here. I've dropped it a few times, when you get down below. But from up here, I mean, it's tough to get this thing lined out. Go for a dunk, just trying to have some fun. And the ball rolls back towards the pin. Obviously, we're fine there. Another way you can try to play at it is just to, take a thorn and do the max backspin approach and see if you can't catch the ball here, and try to get it to bounce into the hole. Try to get it to backspin into the hole, I should say. So we do that, and I'm still off as far as it goes. The intent of this video is not to show you how to pick up an eagle, because I'm not that good at picking up the eagle on this one. It's just talking through particular strategies. The 30% elevation again, and here I'm going for another max backspin shot. We hit a perfect ball, and we're still off on the right-hand side. So this is all pretty self-explanatory when it comes to approaching this hole. You can even try to do this. You can even just try to attack it straight at the pin. So forget the max backspin. Forget the dunk. Just try to play right at the hole like we would a lot of other shots in the game. And we're still missing, but we're right around the pin. But again, you're not gonna be beat by an eagle on this hole many times at all. But let's just say that we hit ourselves a bad drive, okay? And we're in here behind the trees. Now, who knows how I got stuck here? I probably clipped the rough and rolled out. But as you can see, I start here with my ball guideline going through the trees. And all you want to do for yourself is just find yourself a fully developed ball guideline. That's first to get yourself out of a bad situation. Now from here, I'm going max backspin with 1 bar of right side spin. And I'm just trying to find a spot that I can land. Now what I am trying to do here, and this is really the detail that's going to matter. You see me moving my target around, and you might be wondering why I'm doing that. I'm trying to find out how close I can get to these branches and still get a fully developed ball guideline. The reason that I'm doing that is because I'm not going to be able to pull rings. If I were to try to pull rings on this shot, I'm going to be hitting this ball right into the tree branches and dropping straight down. So instead, I know that as soon as I hit the ball, the wind is going to push me to the left-hand side, which is good. That's what I need. So how close can I get to the tree branches with the fully developed ball guideline? There it is. I don't need to do anything else now except take this shot and use max right curl. Now you can see that by doing so, I'm nowhere close to the tree branches, and I saved the hole. We have an easy putt to force a shootout. So that's what you can do if you get yourself in trouble. All right, so let's say here that you're in more trouble, like I am. I'm not as near trouble as my opponent. Look at my opponent's icon here. They're stuck in the middle of the trees. That's worst case scenario, all right? That never happened to me when I started this project. But if you did, the same thing. You're just going to try to find yourself a fully developed ball guideline. Let me tell you what a lot of people make mistakes on when it comes to this hole if you get stuck in a top hand rough like I am here. A lot of times people try to go full overpower and land on the green. Well, you can do that, or you can go super safe. The reason I don't like full overpower is because if you don't hit a perfect ball, you're in trouble. Now in this situation, look at this. I'm stretching out to max, and I'm barely landing on the fairway down there. It is better if I just back up and I play this shot. And this is something that I just think a lot of people don't think of. A lot of people think, okay, I have to get down here, right? And I got to take a hard shot. Don't do that. Play right here. And first of all, you're going to be at medium distance of your club, so you're going to get an easy needle speed to work with. And all you're going to do is bounce from up here to down here. And then as you can see, again, now we're just saving the hole with a simple wedge shot and putting that in. But a lot of times, you'll get that ball to land onto the green. I just wasn't in trouble enough to show you what that looks like. Now here's another situation to where you can do the opposite of what I said if you want to see what that looks like. Not my favorite way to play, but I do have the distance on my Nirvana to get myself down here. But as you can see, I am at max distance of my club. So which means I'm going to have to use overpower. I'm going to have to use curl. But no harm, no foul. We get it down there, and we're going to be putting in to save the hole. So there's what you can do if you find yourself in a little bit of trouble, all right? I hope you found the video helpful. Please subscribe. Please hit that thumbs up button. And if you'd like to support the time and effort that I put into my channel, you can check out the comment section below, and you see a link to my PayPal. Thanks for the love, everybody. Have a great day, and good luck.